Has come all the way from Winthrop, has a long history of affectionate relationships with animals. This includes the basset hounds his family had when he was growing up and the 10 to 20 cats on his grandparents' dairy farm. He and his wife currently have 3 adopted cats. These relationships have provided an emotional roller coaster to great heights and sinking to the darkest depths. His story tonight is about one of these roller coaster rides. Please help me welcome Dean Caraff, titled A Near Miss.
Imagine you're walking down a dark street. The gunshot shatters the evening, and a bullet comes zooming right at you. At the last second, it seems to veer away, but it still ruffles your hair. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, metaphorically speaking, that is my story. It's a story about our cats, who are part of our family. Indeed, they are our family. We adopted them from various rescues as small kittens, and they wasted no time in sinking their claws deep into our heart and wrapping their furry little tails around it for good measure. The point being that removing them from our lives is incredibly painful. Most of the story is about Tank. After we named him, he took it upon himself to grow into his name. He is now an 18-pound, lovable whopper, glacier blue eyes, giant ears that are too big even for his great bulk, and a meow like an opera singer's voice. The story starts in mid-May when he starts to cough and retch. He's trying to get up a hairball. At first we paid no attention to it. It's spring, cats are shedding, they're grooming themselves, they ingest the hair, and up it comes, a gross little hairball. Well, a few days went by and there was no hairball. We became concerned and took him to the vet. After she examined him, she said, actually, he has a severe respiratory infection. She gave him antibiotics, a steroid shot, and we took him home. First he seemed better, then he got worse. Him back. She gave him more drugs, and this time she took a blood sample for a test. One of the tests that she had done was for the coronavirus. It's a highly contagious virus. A lot of cats get it. In the vast majority of the cases, they fight it off, and they become carriers for life. In rare instances, the virus mutates and it begins to attack their immune system and their bodily organs. At that point, it is 100% fatal. In the 3 days that we waited for that blood test result to come back, Tank took a dramatic turn for the worse. He quit eating, he quit drinking, he sat on his blankie in the corner, staring at the wall. He had what I call the fish on a stringer look. It's the look of a creature that has completely given up on life. It's profoundly upsetting when you love that creature. The vet called us about noon on a beautiful summer day. And she said, wow, his test results are off the charts positive. Now the problem with that test is that it only detects the antibodies, and it can't distinguish between the regular virus and the mutated form called FIV. So we had to consider the other symptoms that he had as circumstantial evidence. But when we did that, unfortunately, it said he was very sick and he was doomed. So she started to describe various palliative care that we could provide to Tank. In other words, things that we could do for him while he slowly died. Well, we've been down that road before. It is long, it is dark, and it always ends badly. So we suggested that we just bring him in and get it over with. And she said, well, that's what I'd do if it were my cat. So barely able to maintain our composure, we made arrangements to bring him in later that afternoon. We hung up the phone, picked Tank up, sandwiched him between us in a family hug, and gave him a long, wet hug. At that instant, one of our other cats came in, a little bit, coughing and retching. At that point, my world turned completely black, inky black, bottom of the ocean black, rotting flesh black. We called the vet back, said we had 2 sick cats, and she said, well, bring them in. On that very, very long 10-minute drive to the vet's office, we realized that if Little Bit had caught what Tank had, it was contagious. If it was contagious, it couldn't be fib, because the mutated form of the virus is not contagious. With our massive hopes dangling from a thin fraying thread, we went into the examination room. A few anxious minutes later, the vet tiptoed in, and I couldn't help but see her discreetly set aside the syringe filled with the pink death. She proceeded to examine Tank and said, he doesn't look so bad. I said, wow, if that isn't bad, I'd hate to see bad. And she said, you're right, you don't want to see it. She looked at Little Bit, said, well, yeah, she's sick too. But I think they both need more time. Somehow, that thin little thread was knitting itself together into a steel cable and hoisting our hopes back up into what was now a beautiful summer sky. Well, they eventually recovered, and they're healthy and as wild as ever. I still marvel at how close we came to making a terrible, terrible mistake. We still have that incredibly positive coronavirus test hanging over our lives like a guillotine. But we're hoping that the tears we shed that awful summer day rusted the release mechanism in place, and the blade will never fall. And I learned a couple of things during that experience that I want to share. One of them is that if you're responsible for the medical care for a creature or somebody else, including yourself, you really need to educate yourself on the disease, the symptoms, and the possible treatments. And secondly, and at least as importantly, never, ever, ever miss a chance to love and cherish the creatures and the people that you love, because you just never know when that stray bullet is going to come hissing out of the dark, and next time it might hit your heart.